Well, it's that time of year again, ladies and gentlemen. New Call of Duty, more spawn tubing, a new set of tutorials. And I figured this map would be the perfect first map to make a tutorial for two reasons. One, this is probably one of the easiest maps to learn how to tube on, and even without a tutorial like this one, you could just go into it and just figure it out. But two, the raid tutorial that I made back in Cold War is actually my most viewed tutorial on my YouTube channel. Out of all the ones that I've ever made throughout the past 5 years of making tutorials on Call of Duty, that one has the most views. So I figured this one would be the most appropriate to start off with. So I'm looking forward to showing you guys the lamps that I've come up with, and hopefully you'll learn something new by the end of this. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right in. As per usual, I'm going to start off on the attacking side. Here I've got 4 different spots and lineups to show you, which will cover basically every route that the enemies can take at the start of each round. I'm going to start off by showing you how to tube straight down the middle as the enemies run forward at the beginning of the match. Now there's 2 different methods that you can use here, and this will depend on who's on the other team. If you know somebody's going to be tubing you on the other side, then you probably don't want to use this first method, but I'll show you how to do it anyways. So here you're going to run forward just until you can see both of these rooftops right here. Once you get to right about here, you're just going to aim right in between the two, like so, and then just shoot. And you want to make sure you don't shoot while you're sprinting forward, because then the tube will go flying past where you want it to, and you might not get anyone. So again, make sure you stop. You aim right in between the 2 rooftops like so, and then shoot.
Top of my list.
The second method to the spot is the safer option of the 2, but can be more difficult to get consistent kills with, as the effectiveness of this method will solely depend on where you're standing on the team during the countdown timer. But the general idea is to shoot through this glassed ceiling right here, and you're going to do, or at least what I like to do, is the fadeaway method, which if you don't know or don't remember is when you walk backward, jump, and shoot as you're coming down from your jump. This will draw the tube back so that it travels a shorter distance than what you want it to, which is what we want in this case. So depending on if you're standing closer to the glass ceiling or you're further away, you're going to have to just make your way over here and just aim right about here where this part of the glass is, and then just do a fadeaway like so. Next, I'm going to show you how to tube towards the end of the dirt path on the left side as the enemies are running toward the A-bomb. Here you're going to run all the way back here and lean up against this part of the wall. You're going to look up towards the glass again. You're going to aim right about here, and then you're going to do a moonwalk shot, which is just the term that I use to describe walking backward and then shooting. So once you have this lined up, you're going to move forward a little bit and then walk backward and shoot like so. Next, I'm going to show you how to tube the enemies that run down the stairs on the right side down to the basketball court and are headed to the B-bomb. Now for these next 2 spots I'm going to show you, make sure that you are using the high explosive tubes. It should be called the Tempest M3035. So make sure you have this equipped before you attempt any of these next 2 spots. So for this spot, what you're going to do is come to this side of the garage. You want the B-bomb icon lined up with the middle of this poster. You're going to look up towards the glass until you're right about here, and you want to walk forward, jump, and shoot all at the same time. This will allow the tube to travel the maximum amount of distance in order for it to reach the bottom of the stairs, which is what we want. So again, to come to this side of the garage, B-bomb lined up with the middle of the poster, look up towards this part of the glass ceiling, walk forward, jump, and shoot at the same time, and it should look like this. And now I'm going to show you how to tube the enemies that run over toward the ledge that looks over the pool on B side. For this spot, it's going to be the same exact lineup as I showed you for the previous spot, except this time you're going to be further back towards the wall behind you. Look up to this part of the glass right here, and then same idea, you're going to walk forward, jump, and shoot at the same time, like so.
They're done.
Now switching over to the defending side, here I also have 4 different spots and lineups for you guys to use. It's going to be the same idea. These will cover all of the main routes that the enemies can take at the start of each round. And I'm going to begin by showing you the easiest one of them all by shooting straight down the middle and having the tube land right in front of the garage. So here you want to aim forward. Make sure you aim where this open space is in between the 2 buildings. This little gap right there in the distance. Then you want to aim up towards the top of the tree, and that's basically it. The only thing here is if you are spawned further back of the team, then you want to aim just a little bit higher above the tree line like this, but for the most part it's always going to be towards that open gap and towards the top of the tree, like so.
MTC is nearing zero. Close the deal.
Next, I'm going to be showing you how to tube the enemies that avoid running forward and go through the side door of the garage, headed towards the ramp that leads to the A-bomb. Now you can combine this spot with the first lineup that I showed you that goes down the middle as a combo shot. So after shooting your first tube down the middle like so, you're going to come into this corner right here. Going to look towards this tree and aim just to the left of it like so, and from here you're going to get anyone that runs up that ramp headed toward A-bomb.
Top of my list.
Next, I'm going to be showing you how to tube towards the far left side of the garage, which should hit any of the enemies that are, again, avoiding running forward by instead running out of the side path where the glass window is on their right side of the garage. For this spot, you're going to look towards the tree that's just sticking out from behind their garage building. So that little bit of green right there, you want to look right at that. And then look up just above the clouds like so, and then you're going to perform a fadeaway shot, which if you don't know what that is, it's basically when you walk backward, jump, and then shoot your tube just before your feet hit the ground. So again, look towards that tree sticking out from behind the garage, look above the clouds like so, and then perform a fadeaway, so it's going to look like this. And lastly, I'm going to show you how to tube the enemies that are, again, avoiding running straight forward at other spawn and are instead going out the side door of the garage and up the stairs into that little living room just before they get to A-bomb. Now this spot is probably the most unique spot out of all the ones I showed you, because for this one you're actually going to be using the drill charge tube. Should be just called drill charge right under Tempest depending on what gun you're using, so make sure you have this equipped before you try this spot out. But here you're going to come into this corner again like before. This time we're going to be aiming right about here where this part of the tree is, how it's split off into 1, 2, 3 different little leaf stems. Aim right at that second one, and then with your drill charge just shoot, and it's going to drill through the wall just as they go up the stairs. And that's going to conclude this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed, and like I said, hopefully you got something out of this, whether or not you already know how to tube on this map. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing for more videos just like this, and follow me on all my socials like TikTok and Twitch. Come and join us on Discord, where you get to see all the lineups that I post before I make them into a video like this. So go over there and join my Discord if you have not done so already. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace out.